let's quit our jobs, travel the world, one-way ticket, romanticize that. The first prototype was probably $4,000.
Yeah.
So that became our cushion, $5,000 basically is what we had to spend on Bala. Pucci, they wanted a fitness item. They wanted it to be like a cool girl aesthetic. I love an unexpected partnership. High fashion meets Bala fitness.
Timing is everything.
Did you even have any competitors then?
Zero.
Wow. When we started Bala, it was very much like, how big is your team? It was like a flex head count.
Yeah.
And now I feel like you're hearing whoa, you can do that revenue with that few people. So we're launching. I don't know if I should say this actually.
Welcome today to On The Record. I'm Julian Reyes, and today I've got the special Natalie Holloway to join me. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in your lovely home.
It's great. I mean, I was just saying we just met, but it feels like I've known you for a long time already. And we also just launched a podcast, both of us, and I think that's something really encouraging that both of us have done something and learning from it. So tell me a little bit about you, and I'd love to hear about what you're doing with this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. So, I started Bala 7.5 years ago. I came from a career in advertising. I'm sure you know this. You do know this world. So 72 and Sunny is where my husband and I were working when we met and we fell in love. And we traveled and we thought of the idea of Bala. And then, we didn't know anything about a business. So we came back, we bootstrapped, started Bala. So Bala is like my main identity. But then, flash forward 7.5 years, I've become, kind of a mentor to some brands. And I'm kind of diving into that area of myself. And so starting a podcast was the next step. And we just related on a lot of levels, but it's really interesting and fun.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 72 and Sunny, that's a world famous advertising company. So you met your husband there.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was reading the other day, these dating apps, how many people are meeting on these dating apps, but before dating apps, 40% of people found their husband and wives at their office. So that's a stat that people forget about. But tell me, so you guys were dating at 72 and Sunny and then came up with the idea? How did it come about?
Yeah, that's super interesting. And I find that especially if you're working at a place like, a tech company or advertising where you never leave
the office
and they have wine and beer on tap, it's so many people we met at 72 and Sunny and a lot of people got married working there and they had kids and I can name 20 couples right now.
That's
just
amazing.
Because it was that's who you
was
were
it
around.
Here in LA or was it New York?
It was the LA one. Yeah. And that's who you're around. You're working late nights. That's just how it went. But yeah, we met at this agency and I was fine, but the agency had a burnout style to it. And Max specifically, the account he was working on, he was just burnt out.
Yeah.
And he was like, I have to leave. And he had always dreamed of doing the gap year thing. But, now we're late 20s gap year. And so he said, let's quit our jobs, travel the world. Just kind of one-way ticket, romanticize that. Let's travel the world. He had a little saved up, enough to get you through the Asian countries for a bit. And so he was like, just join me.
Amazing.
And I didn't have anything saved up. We were really, we were on a shoestring budget, but we made it work. And that's when the idea of Bala came up. So it's I think it's a reason to go explore and take that chance because you just get bogged down in the day-to-day.
100%.
And you will never have the creative ideas come to you if you don't give yourself that chance.
I always think when you hear about that story about someone like yourself taking that leap of faith, the worst thing that could happen is you go and get another job, right? I think people forget about what's the downside. Well, as long as you can get another job, there's no downside. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to think through that when you're first doing it. I'm really excited to understand like how you came up with this brand. And obviously we all know that you're on Shark Tank, and I actually saw you on Shark Tank. I was probably an early adopter to Shark Tank. I watch it with my kids, watch it with my brother. It's one of those things that's always in the background, and you learn so much from it.
I need to start watching Shark Tank again, because after we went on, like Max, my husband, he will not watch it. He's like, I'm like, let's try Shark Tank. He's like, I can't, like PTSD, but I actually still enjoy it.
Yeah.
So we launched the business in 2018.
Okay.
And we totally bootstrapped, had no idea what we were doing for more than 2 years. But like by the time we aired on Shark Tank, it was 2020. And so we had been running the business for 2 years and then aired on Shark Tank. 2 weeks later, the world shut down due to COVID-19. Yeah. So it was like between Shark Tank and then 2 weeks later, COVID happening, the brand just like skyrocketed that year. And 2020 was what like really put us on the map.
Yeah, it was incredible because everyone's at home and they wanted to work out.
They wanted to work out, and you couldn't even find like your regular dumbbells.
No, exactly.
This is like everyone who I meet these days, they usually have like a COVID story of trying to find bangles because we were perpetually sold out.
I know. I think we bought them as well.
You might have got them on Poshmark or something.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me, so the actual product, when you first created the product, the design, it's obviously very different to what's out there in the market, and you solved a problem that I think is, a beautiful product that you're willing to leave in your home. You don't have to tuck it away. People can see it on the table. Walk me through how you came up with the actual product itself.
Actually, Max and I were brainstorming after we did a yoga class in Indonesia, and we wanted to like sweat during that class, but maybe that was like very American of us. We wanted like to get our workout in.
We want it harder.
Yeah, we wanted it harder, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like meditative. Yeah. And so that's where we started brainstorming, like how could we have made that harder, and landed on wrist and ankle weights and adding that to your workout. And we said, okay, that exists, but no one uses them. Totally went away since the 80s, jazzercise. Yep. Like, I can't name a friend that owns a pair of wrist and ankle weights, yet I feel all my friends would buy them.
Yeah.
And so we were like, Max, who is the product designer and has actually come up with every product to date, like just it's popped up in his mind one day. And he had the vision for like, it looks the exact same. Like he drew out like, what if it looked like this? And he drew out the Bala bangles. And it like looks like a sketch of Bala today. And he was like, it's like a bracelet. And that's how the idea came to life. And then product development was a whole other issue that we, worked on. It took forever, but that's.
And how many different SKUs did you have when you first launched? Was it just wrist and anklets?
Yeah, just one product, 3 colors.
Amazing. And
I didn't know to like have more products at that time. We were really winging it.
When you first start a business and you're thinking about how many products you order, like how did you think about the amount of like MOQs did you have to purchase? Did you have any, were you just winging it?
We had no money. So the first prototype was probably $4,000. And I think we were able to scramble. This is weird, but I was on one of those Real People Chevy ads just randomly through advertising, and I got a few residuals. Yeah. So that became our like cushion, like $5,000 basically is what we had to spend on Bala. Yeah. And so we put it all into a prototype, and then we learned the MOQs for that order. So we ordered against that, and it was $40,000. And that we were like, how will we get that money? We did a Kickstarter to get that money. So again, really like piecing it together step by step, asking a question, figuring out how we'll get, the basics.
And were you selling it only through your website, or were you selling it through other platforms?
At that point, just our website. And this is when, we're 2018, D2C is all the rage. Everyone's only D2C. No one's thinking about wholesale. Yep. But we said, we need to think about wholesale because basically, if you are in smaller stores, they prepay you. So like they'll buy like 100 bangles, but you get the cash. So it was all a cash game. So we're like, let's actually do that. Or if we get in a store like Goop, they'll send an email on our behalf, thus being free marketing. And so we launched with, getting into studios and wholesale as a strategy. And now that works well because it's like 50% of our business.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting to see that, when you have no money to invest, you do whatever it takes to get your brand out there. I like what you said. It's all about brand marketing as well, like Goop sending out that email or doing a collaboration with, a specialty store that people can find it. And, the thing is the product speaks for itself when you see it and you can touch it. The conversion, I'm sure, is very, very high.
Yeah.
When you think about, the business and, obviously pricing the product's really important too, because it looks like a luxury product, and how did you come up with pricing? Was that something, again, that you're like, you know what, this feels right? Or how did you think about that in the beginning?
Well, we knew it is luxury. Like, it's way more expensive to make than anything out there. And so at the time, we were like, I think I talked to a friend and they said that there's like a double and then double philosophy, like cost of goods, and then you double it for wholesale, and then you double it again. And it's basic, but it actually works for a lot of businesses. So that's what we did. And we first priced them at $49, and it's like just like a good enough margin. It's a good enough margin to have a good business, especially knowing 50% is wholesale. So that's how we priced it. But I always tell people to try to pad in, because what we didn't pad in is like customer acquisition cost.
Exactly.
Or shipping weight.
Exactly.
So there's a lot you could...
It's heavy. Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's true. Did you change your pricing over the years, or has it been roughly the same?
We did. We increased, at least like we have now tons of products, but for the bangles, like they're now $55 for 1 pound.
Okay. So
and it's just comfortable. It's like, it's good. It's comfortable margins.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's true. Like, from my experience, pricing is everything. And I've completely mispriced things in the beginning. When I started Skin Laundry, I priced all the treatments at $50.
Yeah.
Which was too cheap.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that,
way cheap.
Way too cheap for, someone to use a laser on your face.
Yeah.
And people didn't believe in the product because it was too cheap. But now the price is obviously a lot higher. It's probably close to $200. We have got a very, very sticky customer that's been with us for 10 years now, because they believe in the product and they think there's value for money when a dermatologist charges $500 to $1,000.
Yeah.
So I think pricing is a very important part of the business. And I think with the move towards platforms now with TikTok and Amazon, and with all the fees that are embedded in these platforms where the consumer is, it's more and more expensive. Are you on TikTok?
We are on TikTok, yeah.
How's it going on TikTok?
So that's crazy, by the way, that it was $50, but I'm sure you got so many people into the fold, like from the early days.
Yeah, our customer acquisition was try for, first time free, and get them in the chair, see the results, and then they would come back. But then they would always question, like, this is too cheap. But we did this in 2013 when laser facials weren't a thing and people were very nervous about putting anything on their face. Come today, people were injecting themselves at home with GLP-1 and all these other types of drugs. And
you were early to it.
You were too early. Yeah, timing is everything.
Did you even have any competitors then?
Zero.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we had competitors who did laser hair removal.
Yeah.
But nothing to what we were doing on the face. So we just focused on one thing, laser facials. You should totally do a collaboration with them, that they're your customer. And they're all over the country. So I think that could be an interesting partnership.
Yeah.
At our company today, Superordinary, we manage a ton of beauty brands, and we work with Disney and H&M, who all are very active on TikTok. I'm just curious because it seems to me this would be the perfect product for TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, we were late to the game on TikTok because I'm a millennial, so I was too old for TikTok. And so I never really put resource behind it. But now we have resource behind it, and we're again pretty late to the game. We did TikTok Shop a year ago, I think. And now it's probably on a good month, 1/8 of our D2C revenue a month. So Amazing. It's like, have to be there. That's where our Bala girlies are.
We're going to work with you on that.
Yeah.
We have over 1 million affiliates now.
I know. I want to hear more about that.
So I think what's interesting is, the way we see TikTok is it's an entertainment platform, and we create entertainment around the brands we work with, whether we create micro dramas or micro series. We work with the biggest creators on YouTube and TikTok, and we create shows like scripted TV shows, and we incorporate the product into the show. And what happens is, we just launched one last week. It's already got close to 80 million views in just over a week. And then what we do is we connect all the way through to TikTok shops. We use our affiliates to help amplify the content that we create together, and it just goes like wildfire. And I think what's exciting about that is that the consumer's discovering your product for the first time on TikTok, but then they'll go and buy it on Amazon, or then they go to Goop and they'll buy it on other channels because they know that they want to buy that product again. But to discover it to that younger consumer, it's really important to do.
Definitely. That sounds amazing. I want to hear a lot more about it. And it makes sense you would have a podcast. It's crazy you didn't.
But yeah, so I think with building a brand, and what I really admire with what you've done, and just been following you on as the brand progresses, is brand collaborations. And it doesn't surprise me that you came from an advertising company, and it also speaks volumes when you tell me that you've worked with all these other brands and using their audiences and leveraging cross collaboration. But it's not easy to do this and what you've done without a big celebrity founder and whatnot. Obviously, we went on Shark Tank. I'm just looking at the table. Some of these collaborations are super impressive. Talk to me like how you got Pucci. I mean, that's insane.
I mean, I think, gosh, each collaboration came to us like a different way, but Pucci reached out to us, which is amazing. And I think that was like oh my gosh, email, like, I hope this goes through. Because, we have conversations with people that nothing ever comes from it. And so that was like, oh, this has to happen. And we worked with them for a year and made custom products with them. And I think for Pucci, they wanted to position themselves. They wanted a fitness item. They wanted it to be like a cool girl aesthetic. Yep. And so we worked with Pucci on it. And then recently Spanx, we just launched that a few weeks ago.
Insane.
And that was really cool because working with a huge brand, and Sarah Blakely, who bootstrapped her business very much in a Bala way, was very cool.
I like in a Bala way.
In a Bala way. Or we're doing it in a Spanx way. But now it's like we've kind of become known for collaboration. So we're putting more attention there and keeping the customers guessing what's next.
Yeah.
We don't even know what's next, actually.
I love that. What do you think the secret is, when you're doing a collaboration, from the planning to the execution? Like, what do you think are the must-haves you have to do to be a successful collaboration partner, especially within social media, how you execute it?
I mean, I think definitely it starts with the partner you pick. And this is why it's like we're very picky about who we move forward with a big collaboration with, because it needs to elevate the brand. So potentially be a bigger brand, ideally a bigger brand or a similar size, but keeps the audience guessing and excited. And I love an unexpected partnership like Pucci. That's so unexpected. High fashion meets Bala fitness.
Yep.
And so those are all the checkpoints. And then when it comes to life, I think each partner bringing their expertise, and maybe their expertise is potentially the money and the team and resource that they can put behind it. And then Bala brings the creativity and the cool girl aesthetic or whatever. But I think launching it also with all the key touch points too, like the creators, the swoon-worthy event, the mailer, hitting all of the touch points with the press when you launch it is important to amplify it.
Do you find that you handle one part of it and they handle the other part? Is there something that you feel like you generally, you built some muscle behind in these collaborations? It
totally has depended on the partnership, but for the most part, I think usually they're tapping us for the way we will create the product. So we'll lead the charge on the most part on the product, and then also the shoot and the assets that come from that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that will be Bala. I think Spanx actually handled the shoot on this one, and then also just putting our fun, creative Bala lens on things. So it's we're not just going to do an event. To do an event, it's going to be the best event an influencer's gotten to or community member has gotten to.
We're definitely going to do a partnership. We do goat yoga with our creators, and we hire a house in the Bird Streets, and all these creators come along. But we'll do one with you guys.
We will put all the mats there. We will kit that out. That sounds so fun.
Amazing.
I want to
go. No, we'll definitely do that. So what other products have you created after the bangles?
We have, maybe even 30. I don't know. A lot more on the way too, but a lot of weighted products. So the beam, which is you need one if you don't have one, but it's a 15 to 35 pound long bar.
Uh-huh.
It's very unique. There's nothing like it on the market. I would say most things we launch are going to be unique. We do yoga mats, but Max was why is every yoga mat a rectangle. Let's make it like a curved edge and then a capsule shape. So yoga mats, there's some soft goods, and then a lot of weighted products. So we're launching, I don't know if I should say this actually, kettlebells soon. You can take that out. But yeah, a lot of weighted products and then soft goods, which would be like Pilates socks, yoga mats,
amazing,
foam rollers.
Amazing. So where do you want to take the brand? 7 years in, you're obviously on an incredible trajectory. And also it's created this incredible lifestyle for you and your family, which I think I can tell you that you're enjoying.
Yes.
So where do you want to take this? Is this something that you want to manage for the next 10 years? How do you think about it with you and your husband joined at the hip in business and in life?
I think it really depends on the day. I think we used to talk, really, truly.
I love the honesty.
Right?
I mean, that's great.
But it's like, I think some people they start a business to sell it, or they have investors, and that's the goal. I think that's been the goal from time to time, but now I'm like enjoying it. I'm enjoying the creativity behind it, the lifestyle, the freedom. And so who knows, maybe pass it down to the kids.
Amazing.
But it just really depends on the day.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And tell me, what does the team look like now? How many people are in the company? Are they all based here in LA?
So we are fully remote, and I think we're like 9-ish people. We grew a team and then had to do layoffs the year that this is 2022 now we're talking about, but the year that fitness dipped, Peloton was a market indicator and everything dipped. So it was like soaring. And then we were talking about this a little before, brands that going under, because the thing is you hire assuming you're going to grow. And then if you have a dip, it really is detrimental and puts a lot of brands under. So that's our comeback story is we were able to navigate that. We went from 30 people down to just Max, myself, and our chief brand officer, Brooke. So we literally went down to 3 people doing 30 people's jobs. That was horrible. So we really built back very intentionally and slowly. And now we work with a lot of agencies. So we're more of this agency model where we have an agency for customer service, for emails, you name it.
It's interesting, because I think you learned a life lesson there, which I think a lot of people did. Everyone scaled, and we had a huge number of employees. We were close to 400, and then came down to almost half that.
Oh my gosh!
And you're looking after people's livelihoods, and you have to make really hard decisions. But I think when you're building a brand today, with obviously technology and AI, which changes a lot of the unit economics on how you build a business, you can be a very, very lean team. I think, when I speak to founders and new entrepreneurs who are starting businesses, there's lots of do's and the don'ts about, and I think 10 years ago, it's like pedal to the metal, just go for the top line revenue. And I think if you were thinking about starting again right today, let's forget about Bala and say, I've got to go out in the world and do this. What do you think you would have done differently, to where you are now?
I think I would have probably tried to have more focus, because I think because we didn't know what we were doing, we were just let's try this, constant trying things, constant pivots, which maybe was also a super strength. But I think now with more focus, you can get a lot done.
Yeah.
So I'd probably try more focus. I still would really hire when you're bursting at the seams, because I did do that thing we're talking about, laying off a bunch of people, and that is not fun.
It's not fun.
So I, wait to hire each role, see if there's a way to outsource it. Agency, that's a great model to do. And yeah, you're seeing now, I heard this on someone else's podcast, but it was interesting to me because I feel when we started Bala, it was very much how big is your team? It was a flex headcount.
Yeah.
And now I feel you're hearing whoa, you can do that revenue with that few people, not talking about Bala, but other brands. And so I think we're shifting a little bit to, we've been down the road where everyone overhired. And so I think that's a little scary. So we're course correcting for that.
And also we're starting to see a lot more traditional fitness companies like Nike trying to enter the market with more, more products for the home fitness. You're definitely at the forefront of that. So what do you think about the market now? Is it a lot more competitive? How do you think about it? Because buying weights in the past, it was all about buying weights from made in China.
Yeah, or Rogue Fitness.
Yeah, Rogue Fitness, and it was very heavy, clunky. It looked like a CrossFit gym that you'd have to put in your garage. who else is coming into the market? Like, how do you think about the competition?
So I think our biggest fear early days was somebody like a Nike would just say, oh, that's cool, I'm just going to do it. And luckily, it's like, at least now we've been able to like state claim, and like we kind of like zagged when everyone was zigging in this category and like created a unique brand and products. But it's disheartening, and it's just part of it. It's kind of like fashion.
Yeah.
We have thousands of counterfeits or not counterfeits, copycats.
Copycats, yeah.
So if you like Googled it, you would find tons of fake.
Yeah.
You'd be like, wait, that looks like Bala, but it's called something else. And that's everywhere. And so those are our competitors, are our own products.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy. Like we launched the matte scrunchie, which is it's very like a Bala thing, but it's basically you put a scrunchie over your mat, and it's just like, that's how it's carried. So the matte scrunchie is just like a fun, cute product. And we saw counterfeits like days later.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy, but it's like, I try to tell myself it's just part of it, and you have to keep innovating.
Yeah. And also, it's flattery as well. At least you're doing something right.
Yeah. It's disheartening, but it's part of it. Fashion, like nothing we're wearing, like was invented by these companies. They saw it on a runway.
There's nothing.
So I always try to tell Max that because it keeps him up at night.
So Natalie, tell us about the first collaboration you did with Bala.
Okay, so I'm going to have to look at our Instagram to see what the actual first is. I think it was New Balance, actually.
Wow.
Which I know, it's crazy. I think it probably was year 2 of the brand. And we actually knew somebody who worked there, and she believed in Bala, and she kind of pitched it to the team.
So
cool.
We
got to do custom color with them. It was sick. Like, especially being early days for Bala, I look back, I'm like, that was actually a really amazing photo shoot. And they like let us run with it, which is ironic for such a big brand.
Such a big brand. I mean,
they were like,
amazing.
Go do it. We barely need approval on this photo shoot. It's like, okay, easy.
Amazing. So I'm excited to talk about podcasting because we're both starting it and we're both learning as we go. Tell me, like, one of the things that you've enjoyed about it so far. What's challenging? Like, where do you want to take this?
I think it's so ours, which you're going to be on, and I'm so excited, especially that I have like a preview into who you are. Lana and I started it together because she has exited a company, Flume, and I'm building Bala, and we both come at it from 2 different angles, like raising money, bootstrapping. And we also felt like not only could we record with amazing guests, but we have unlimited solo opportunities that we could record together and talk about raising money or bootstrapping, whatever it is. So that's like why we started it. And also just so it could be a resource for people building their own business. But I find it's really fun to meet other people.
It is, yeah.
It is so exciting. Like, you just really get a lot of information, and you just make connections.
And it's also like very therapeutic. It
is
deeper than going to a therapist.
It is so therapeutic, and we're like sharing, hopefully, wisdom that'll help people not make the same mistakes we did or whatever,
It's probably getting translated into Chinese and Indian right now or something. No, but it's great. And tell me, like, so you met your podcast partner. So was she a friend from a long time ago, or how did you guys meet?
We met at like a founder dinner, like a female founder, and we just became instant.
That's crazy.
Friends. And then we it's funny, of course, it's like we had to start a sort of business together, but it's like we met and we just hit it off and started hanging out and then started this, which is so much time and effort.
It is. And the thing is, like, creating a podcast, like, none of us are doing it to make money. We're doing this to really, share experiences, meet guests, definitely you can start working with them in the future. And I think this is the network that everyone should be focusing on, because I think there's a big, big opportunity in consumer at the moment, because I think a lot of brands are turning the corner and, they're rolling over. And I think to be able to really get to your next audience, you have to think of different ways. And you talk about zigging and zagging. Just, putting ads on Meta is not going to cut it anymore, or spending more and more money on different channels and platforms. And I think collaborations with what you've done is like definitely something that everyone would love to do, but don't know how to do it. So I think that has been something that I see all these brands they come with a brand story, they come with a founder, and they kind of like shove it down your throat. Like, you better buy this because this is what we stand for as a brand. But it's been nice to see you organically grow it over the years. I mean, it looks like it's taken 7 years and it's been this incredible success. But you shared today, like in 2022, that was a hard year, which everyone saw it go up and down. The whole Peloton story with everyone buying these bikes and not using them as clothes racks at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy ride, ups and downs.
They're definitely. So how do you now, I understand you've got 3 small children, all under the ages of 4, which you're insane for doing that.
Absolutely insane. What are your age gaps again, though?
Actually, I'm not far off. I'm actually 2018 and 16. So
yeah, because I feel like I was doing the math. I was like, you're close.
I'm pretty close.
But that extra year, I think, makes a difference.
Makes a difference. And also growing, bringing them up in Asia, I think was, you're lucky there because you get to have help there in Asia and it's much easier.
Oh,
sure. Yeah, that was the best part of bringing up kids in Asia.
Yeah, LA is a very expensive place to bring up kids.
Yeah, it's very, very different.
Doing 2 drop-offs in the morning is
oh my God.
Absolutely traffic.
And do you take turns with Max? Is it?
Oh yeah, we have like a whole. He does one, I do the other drop system, but it's tough.
It's the only way. And I heard you're authoring a book.
Yes.
But tell me about this. Is there anything else you're not doing?
That's insane. I feel like every time I've had a kid, I've like birthed something else each time. And the book came about in the same sort of way as the podcast, but it's really like Bala's playbook for how we grew the brand.
I love that.
And it's all in hopes of like, instead of like, which I'm always happy to take calls with people, but my time doesn't permit that with all the kids.
Yeah.
And so it's really a way of like telling other people building businesses, like, this is the playbook we use. These are the mistakes we made. This is what you should do, what you shouldn't spend your money on, and really hope that it will help people. And that was very therapeutic too. I kind of like started it during maternity leave and like had a leisure summer where I was,
writing out the chapters,
writing it.
Did you have someone to help you put that together, like write it with you? How did that work?
We had I had some editors that were like heavily involved, and we would like do deep dives via audio with me and their writing and kind of do collabs. It's a lot of work as well, but it's very much of like a Bala story, but more like a playbook and how people can take what we've done and apply it to their businesses.
Well, there's a couple of things here. One, I think we should help you sell it on TikTok because I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
And we have all these beauty affiliates who, aspiring business owners and business founders. And I think, giving real life playbooks like this is very exciting. We also have a platform called teachly.ai, which helps creators sell digital courses and digital products. So that's another place which we would love to work with you on.
Oh, I would love that.
So there's many things we can do.
That's all new to me.
Yeah.
Selling a book, totally different area of the business.
Yeah. So what's next? I mean, now you've done the book, you've done the podcast, you've got a business. Is there anything on the horizon that you're excited about? I
think it's really like hanging with the kids and doing this other, venture of mine, which is me as mentor and public speaker. So it is the book and the podcast. It's like my time will be less on Bala and more, it'll be higher level on Bala, like vision of the company, and then more like now helping people. And so that's the other area.
I mean, I love that. I feel like you're doing that on your podcast. You're sharing your knowledge and, you're inviting people onto the podcast as well. I mean, I'm the same. I feel, this is a part of my life I really want to give back and, work with younger generations and helping them build businesses. It's so fun. I love investing with them and learning. I learn from my kids the whole time. They're the first line of defense when I say, is this a good idea? And the answer is resounding no every single time. They're like, Dad, don't do this. Don't embarrass us.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
But Natalie, it's amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
Having me.
It's really exciting. I'm excited to be on your podcast in the next 2 weeks. At the end of the podcast, I give everyone a record, which I think...
That's why. Okay.
Yeah. And this one, which is my favorite also, which is Fleetwood Mac.
This is like the coolest thing ever.
But it's just something to remember.
Thank you. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Stevie
Nicks.
Nicks.
That's so cool. That's why it's on the record. I get it now.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please leave your comments below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And please don't forget to subscribe.